Okay, so imagine a place utterly dry. NASA actually uses it to test gear for Mars missions.
It sounds like science fiction, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
But this same landscape, it's home to surprisingly vibrant life, ancient cultures, and yes, some really urgent environmental conflicts happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're taking a deep dive into Chile's Atacama Desert. We'll unpack its extreme geography, how life, manages to adapt in these astounding ways.
Yeah, and the history too, the deep-rooted culture of its indigenous peoples, their ingenuity.
Exactly. And then connect that to the modern conflicts over its most precious resource, which is water, of course.
Yeah.
And that's all driven by global demand for minerals like lithium and copper.
Yeah, the demand is huge. Our deep dive today draws from quite a few sources, including articles from Manga Bay and The Guardian.
Wait.
And we've also got insights from places like Turismo Tours, Go Chile, Cascada Expediciones, How Stuff Works, and Znani Russia. So good mix.
Okay, great. So our mission today really is to distill how this place, the Atacama, which seems like it should defy life, paradoxically reveals the very blueprint for survival.
From ancient wisdom to modern science.
Exactly. And what that means for your understanding of things like global water scarcity and, sustainable development.
Okay, let's unpack this.
So to really get how this desert defies expectations, maybe we should start with its basic story, its unique geology.
Makes sense.
We're talking about the driest non-polar desert on Earth. It stretches over 600 miles along the Pacific coast of South America.
And when you say dry, it's not an exaggeration, is it?
No, not at all. Some specific areas have literally received zero rainfall in recorded history. The average for the whole desert, just 10 millimeters a year. Tiny.
And what's really remarkable isn't just how dry, but for how long. It's estimated to be between 20, maybe 40 million years old. Yeah, making it one of the planet's oldest deserts. And this ancient, sustained dryness. It's not just a factoid. It's the very thing that forged these incredibly specialized life forms and cultures.
Right. Crucible is a good word.
And despite that extreme dryness, the temperatures are, surprisingly mild. They vary from about 0 degrees C up to 25 degrees C.
So it's not the scorching hot desert stereotype many might picture.
Not really, no.
So what exactly makes it so uniquely arid for millions of years?
It's like a perfect storm of geography. First, you've got the Peru current, or the Humboldt current, coming up from the Pacific. It's cold.
Okay.
So it cools the air above it, causing the moisture to basically drop over the ocean before the air even reaches land.
So the moisture gets wrung out offshore.
Pretty much. Then, factor 2, the Andes Mountains. Huge barrier.
Right, the classic rain shadow effect.
Exactly. They block any moisture trying to come in from the east, from the Amazon basin side.
Okay, so blocked from the west by the cold current, blocked from the east by the mountains.
And there's more. You also get these things called katabatic winds. High-density, cold air descending from the mountain.
That dries the air out even further.
Sweeps across the land, drying everything. It sounds almost impossible for moisture, doesn't it?
It really does. Yet, you mentioned there's a vital exception.
Absolutely. Along the coast, there's this phenomenon called the Camanchaca.
Camanchaca?
Yeah, it's a dense marine fog that rolls in from the Pacific. It doesn't bring rain, but it brings moisture.
Like a heavy mist.
Exactly. And it provides this minimal, yet absolutely vital source of water for certain plants and animals right near the coast. Without it, that coastal strip would be barren.
Incredible. It really does sound otherworldly. And you mentioned NASA earlier. The comparisons to Mars aren't just casual, right?
No, not at all. The landscape is so barren, so, Martian-looking in places, that NASA actually conducts equipment tests there. They try out rovers and instruments intended for future Mars missions.
It really drives home how extreme the environment is.
And yet, life finds a way. Despite these incredibly harsh conditions, life in the Atacama doesn't just, scrape by. It thrives in some really astounding ways.
Like the plants. You mentioned they have superpowers.
Yeah, that's what researchers from the University of Chile called it. They studied over 30 species and found they have these enhanced metabolic reactions.
Okay, what does that mean exactly?
It means they're incredibly efficient at conserving water and nutrients. They can handle the high solar radiation, the big temperature swings, the nutrient-poor soils. conditions that would kill most other plants.
So these plant superpowers,
Yeah.
it's about extreme efficiency then.
Pretty much, yeah. They've evolved these amazing tricks to maximize every single drop of water, every tiny bit of nutrient, and often they grow incredibly slowly to conserve energy.
Like the Lioretta.
Exactly, the Loretta. It looks like this big green cushion covering rocks, right? But it's actually an extremely dense shrub, and it grows so slowly, it can take centuries to develop.
Centuries, wow. That's geological time almost.
It really puts things in perspective. Then you have others like the tola shrub, which provides vital shelter and food for other species. And along the few waterways that exist, you find poplars and tamarugos.
And they're important for...
Holding the soil together, preventing erosion, which is crucial in such a fragile landscape.
Okay, so the plants are masters of patience and efficiency. What of the animals?
Also remarkably adapted. You find quite diverse fauna, especially near those pockets of relative moisture, the salt flats, lagoons, high plateau areas.
Like the famous llamas and alpacas.
Definitely. Vicuñas, too, their wild cousins, roam the highlands. And llamas and alpacas, of course, were domesticated by Andean peoples centuries ago, vital to their way of life.
Then you can't talk Atacama wildlife without mentioning the flamingos, right?
Oh, absolutely not. They're iconic. 3 species, the Chilean, the Andean, which is vulnerable, and the James's flamingo, which is near threatened.
And they gather in these huge numbers.
Yeah, they flock to the salt flats like the massive Salar de Atacama.
Yeah.
They feed on these unique microorganisms that actually thrive in that super salty, brainy water. It's an incredible sight. Pink birds in the middle of this arid landscape.
Transforms the place. Are there other, maybe less famous creatures?
Oh, yes. You've got the cunning Colpio fox. There's the Riete, the South American ostrich relative.
Yeah.
The Andean cat, which is very elusive. And vizcachas.
Cautious. What are they?
They're related to chinchillas, sort of like a rabbit with a long tail. They have this gray fur and often sit perfectly still among rocks, so people mistake them for stones sometimes.
Huh. Camouflage masters.
Definitely. And then right along the coast, thanks partly to that Comanchaca fog and the cold current bringing nutrients, you get colonies of seals, gulls, terns, cormorants, pelicans.
And even penguins.
Even Humboldt penguins. It's a surprisingly rich coastal ecosystem.
So these animals, they depend on specific spots, right? Like those lagoons you mentioned.
Critically important. Those altiplanic lagoons, like Miscanti and Manix, they're high-altitude lakes, essentially. They act as vital refuges. Oases, really.
For the water birds especially.
Yes, aquatic birds depend on them, but also other species find water and food there. They are key to the whole region's ecological balance. Without these small pockets of life, the wider ecosystem just wouldn't function.
It's just astounding how life adapts.
Yeah.
And what's maybe even more remarkable is how human life has adapted there. Not just survived, but thrived for millennia.
Absolutely. There's evidence of human settlement going back over 6,000 years, maybe even activity more than 10,000 years ago.
Wow, when the climate was different.
Yeah, initially nomadic hunters and gatherers during a period when the desert was actually a bit more humid than it is today.
And then came the Atacameños.
Right. Around 900 BC, the ancestors of the Atacameños, or the Lucanantes as they call themselves, they're one of Chile's 9 legally recognized indigenous peoples. They developed agriculture and llama herding.
In the driest desert on Earth. How do they manage that?
Through incredible ingenuity. They developed methods like, well, they called it sowing water.